Hello, good day, and welcome to this section. My name is Topman Paul-Dike, and I'm here with my team once more. So today we'll be continuing the front end development, the live coding section, led by um, Ebube. So I'll leave you in the hands of Ebube, um, the magician behind the front end codes. Now will take us through. Hopefully, she would go a long way today. Hopefully, yeah, maybe complete it today and then begin the back end. So thank you very much. Stay attentive, do what to follow, and see other videos if you haven't, just in case you're new. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Let me share my screen. Just let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see your screen.
Okay, so I think this was where we left the project. Okay, so what were we able to achieve? We were able to achieve the navigation bar. We were able to achieve the main content. We had an aside for the buttons, and then we had the products part of it. And then inside the products part, we had a table containing some products, their price, order number, and availability status. Then, um, I think, okay. All right. So after that, we then had a button for add new product. I think that was the last thing that we did. So for the CSS, why did you have that class of BTN? Okay, wanted to create a button. Okay, so before we continue with this, let me open excuse me. Let me open the finished project so that we can be looking at it while we are working. Where is it? Okay, all right. So our add new product button is going to be this way. Right now it's here, so we need to move it. Then the table. Okay, everything looks okay at the table except that we have a green text color for the available products and a red color for the out of stock. Okay. Then the last but not the least is this part here with the page numbers. Uh, okay. Then this one. Okay. So let's get down to business. Please, someone to confirm that you can hear me very clearly.
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know for others.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Alright, so the first thing I want to do is to style the available and out of stock. Just give them different colors. So where is that one? Yeah, it's this one. So we have available for the available buttons and we have finished for the out of stock. So let's just type that. So say dots available. Give it a color. Is there any particular green color here? Okay, since it's just that place we are using it, we don't need to create a variable for it. So just say green. And it's green. But we need to copy that class and put it here as well. Right here. We need to give this class this particular one that same class so that the both of them will be green. Then we come back and we style the dot finished and we give it a color of red. Alright, that's for that one. So the next thing I want to look at is the BTN, our button. And like I said before, we need this button to be the same as this button. So because of that, we'll just create a general BTN style that will be applied to the both of them. So, oh, this one. So because that I want to use that BTN in more than one place, I just bring it to the top here, like a general style. So this BTN is going to have a background color of the primary color. So these are primary color variable. Um, primary color. Then let me be looking at it. Okay. I want to take off this border that is there by default. So I'll say border none. Okay. And I'll change the color of the text. Oh, sorry. I'll give it a background color. White background color rather. Okay. So the next thing I'll give it some padding. Let's see one line. Okay, it's looking good. Let me the border radius. So it will not be so sharp. Let me say 0.5. Okay. Then the next thing is to give it some font weights. This is just preference. To make it bolder. Alright, so when I hover on it, I want this mouse to be pointer. So I'll just give it a cursor of pointer. Then alright, so you can see the hand now. The next thing I want to give to it is a hover. When we hover on it, just like this one here, when we hover on it, you can see that you can shall see it. I don't know what it's called, like it's zooming in and out or something like that. So that's what we need to do with the hover. So that when we hover on it, we'll get that. That's it, the BTN hover. Basically, what I want to do is to use a transform scale on it. So scale is going to increase the size. Let me use 2. So when I hover on it, it will be 2 times the size. I just want to show you guys something, but it's not 2 we are going to use. So you can see what happens, right? So let's use 1.1, just small increase there. So this is it, but it's happening too fast, so we want this hover effect to take place with some sort of transition. So I'll just come here into the, sorry, wrong place, into the btn itself, into the btn, and give it a transition property. I just say all, and in 300 milliseconds. So that scaling effect is going to take place in 300 milliseconds, and it should just be ease. So by the time we hover on it, you can see it's now taking place with some sort of ease. Okay, so that's for that. The next thing we want to do to this particular button here, is I want to move it towards the right, just like we have here. The button is towards the right. So in order for us to achieve that, we have to come back to the HTML and give it a particular um, another class, so that we can style that particular one. Remember that the btn we just styled is going to affect more than one button. So but now we want this particular button in particular, this particular button specifically, so we'll give it another class. All right, so where's the HTML? So come back to the HTML and just give it, you know what, there's no, you're giving it a class of its own. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to call it inside this div I call table. This div called table, that's where the button is. So I'll just call that div and then call the button inside the div, because it's only one button that is inside it. So what we want to do is, first we want to move it to the right of this particular white, you can see this white space here, this is the div called table. So we're going to give this div a position of relative, and give this button a position of absolute, so that we can move the button in relate, how do I put it now, in relation to this particular container, its container, which is the white, this white container we have here. All right, I don't know if that's clear enough, but what I'm saying is, if we give this white container a position of relative and this button a position of absolute, we can move the button anywhere from the top, right, left of this. So let's just do that immediately. I'll go to the I'll go to the css. So where is the dot table? Yeah, this is it, this is the div here. um just so you know that, yeah, that's the div. So I'll give it a position of relative. Then I will come here. What did I do? Then I'll come here and I'll call the particular button that is inside of it. So the particular button that is inside of it. So the table.btn, and I'm going to give it a position of absolute. Position of absolute. And once I give it that position, let me show you what we can do with that. If I give it a top of 0, that means I want it to be 0. I want I want this button to be like 0 steps away from the top of this container. So if I save it, see what happens. You can see where it's going to stay. So but I don't want it to be there. I want it to be 0 from the right. 0 from the right. So after doing that, you can see where it is now. So the next thing, I don't want it to be exactly, I don't want it to exactly be 0. So I'll make it 2 rem, so that there'll be some space there. There's probably going to be different ways to achieve this, but this is what we're making use of now. Then I also make it to be 2 rem from the bottom of the table. All right, so having done this now, we can see that we need some sort of space around there, because this button is now covering some of our text. So what's going to happen is I will give it some extra padding at the bottom, I think that should work. Or perhaps give the table itself a margin. Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll give this table itself a margin. Now remember that, let me go back to the HTML so that we don't get, what's happening? Okay. All right. So now inside this div called table, that's the white background, we now have the table itself. The table itself is this part that has the status available and whatever. So we'll give it a margin bottom. We'll give it some margin bottom so that there will be some space between it and where the button is. All right. So where is it? Here it is, table. So I give it a margin bottom. Or let me say 5. All right. So I think that's looking good for now. All right. So the next thing we want to do is okay, I think we're done with this part. The next thing we want to do is this pages part now. Are we still following?
Yes, boss.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Let me just reduce this. Okay. All right, let's see what we have here again. Okay, so after the button and the table, that after this white part, after the button and the table, we're now going to add these guys. So we are going to use anchor tags for each of them because we want them to lead us to some other pages. So we want them to lead us somewhere so that when we click on it, something happens. So we're going to use anchor tags for each of them. But first of all, I need to grab this from front also. I need to grab that particular icon. So I'll just go to front awesome quickly. Okay, so you just a refresher because we've already done something like this before. We've used front awesome before. We're looking for that left arrow icon. Okay, I don't think it's arrow. Let me do angle. Alright, so I'm doing like this, angle left. Okay. Let me close this. And alright, so I'm going to make this a div of its own so that I can also position it properly. Let's come back to our actual page. So I'll just call it page count, a div with a class of page count. Okay. So inside this div we have an anchor tag, and we're going to put what we just copied from front also. So when I hit save, let's see if it comes up. Okay, so we can see it right there. You can see it right here. So let's continue. Then I'm going to copy this and paste it. So instead of angle left, let me just change it to angle right and see if anything happens. Okay. Nice. So we have the both of them. Then next thing I'm going to do is put our numbers. So the first one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so 2, 3, 4, dots, dots, dots. And what's that number there? Is it 47? 47, okay. So up to page 47. Alright, so we have it now. Can go and style it. So the name of that particular div was called page count. Alright. So let me be sure that I got it correctly. So I just give it the background color of blue. Let me just see how wide it is. Okay, nice. So it's taking the entire width of the products container. So we are going to do something about that. The first thing we want to do is to want to center its text. So I'll do text align of center. Let me change this from blue to something else so that we can see what we are doing. Alright, so when I save that, we can see that the items are now in the center. You can see that they are now in the center. Okay. Um, Next thing we'll do is to give it a let's give it some margin at the top. Margin at the top of let's bring it. Let's just come down a little bit. Now I can take off this background color. I don't need the background color again. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is to target each of the anchor tags. Which counts. The anchor tag inside of it. Alright, so let's give them some spacing and some up and down spacing. Why? Because look at this. Um, when the particular page that is active is going to have this background color. So you can see that there's some space at the top, bottom, left, and right. So that's the padding we want to give to each of these um, anchor tags. So padding of let me give them a background color first so that I can see what the padding is looking like. Background color of let's do this. Okay, so now I can give the padding. It's a padding of 0.5. Oh, I that's oh um that's okay. Okay, let me reduce the up and down. Up and down is looking too much. So remember that you can use a shorthand. So um this way we'll do 0.3 rem for the up and down padding and 0.5 for the left and right. So I'll save that. It has reduced now. Cool. So the next thing I want to do is give it a border radius. I have a border radius variable, right? Hmm? Yeah. Okay, it's for card. Oh, fine. So give it a border radius of 0.5. Same with the button. Okay. Then I think that's okay. Let's change the color. Which color are we giving to it now? Let me take this off first. Alright, our text already has a default color, and which is this. I'll just copy that. Let me write my color to this. Okay, so next thing we want to do is we want to set one of these numbers to be the active, just as we have here. So we want it to be the active. So we'll just create a what we call active. Do I have it already? What I have is available. Okay. So we'll just create an active dot active, and we'll give it a background color of the primary color like this. All right, so having done that, we just go to where 2 is and give it a class of active. That's active. Let's see. Okay, and we'll start the active to have a white text color. Okay, the color will be our BG white. Just leave it there. BG white like this. Let's see. Mm, okay, why is it not changing? Why is it not changing? Let me take this off. Hmm. Uh, what's happening? Okay, let's just leave this for now. I don't know. This one seems to be affecting the white background that I'm giving to the active, and I do not know why right now. Okay, let's check the one that we did before. If there's any difference.
Okay.
So we have active here. What is an active? Yeah, background color and reduce. Okay, I'm just going to give this general anchor tag um this thing here, so I can remove this one from here. Just give this anchor tag styling at the top and see if it changes anything. Okay, it's working now. Alright, so we have the rest of them working. Is there any hover effects here? There's no hover effect, and this text looks smaller than we have. But it's fine. We can work with what we have already. What else are we doing? Okay, yes, this. Hold on. Like I'm going to let this pop up here when we click on this. Okay, so what we are going to do now to achieve this one is that when we click on this, we are going to have this div come up. And so what we have here, we have a backdrop behind this white pop-up you're seeing here. So this white pop-up is inside a div, and this div is kind of a little bit transparent. And that's why we can't click on anything here because there's a div that's covering it. So we have that backdrop. Then inside it we have this other div here, this white one. And so we have the admin product and all of that. So there's some JavaScript here though, so that when you click on it, it goes away. All right, so we need to do that now. Everything here is okay. I think we should give some space, just some margin at the top of this table, just a little bit of margin. I just do margin. Sorry, I said margin button. Margin. Am I? I think I'm targeting the wrong one. Products. Sorry, it should be at pro. Let me see what I'm targeting. Okay. Should be here in the div 5 rem. Too small. Okay, let me just take this off first of all. Let me put the margin bottom that was here first. There's a margin bottom here. So let's just save the margin bottom. Then come here and give this a margin top of, let me just do 10 and just see. And I don't seem to be doing anything.
You're styling the button,
I'm
not
saying the bottom. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, this space. Thank you very much. Oh, that's much. Thank you. Too much. Okay, that seems better now. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and make the pop-up. Or I don't know the right word though. I call it pop-up. I've heard things like move down, but I don't know which one is the correct word. So it's going to be on its own, right? It's not going to be okay. On its own, not on its own, on its own, not on its own. When we click on this, it becomes visible. Okay, let's just bring it out of the main within the container. Not within the container. So when somebody clicks it, it's closing. Outside the container actually. Right. So outside the main, so this will say and and main. So we'll do a pop up. It's going to be a form technically. All right. So we'll have the backdrop that is going to have everything. So we have the backdrop. Now inside this backdrop, let me look at this thing again. Okay, inside this backdrop, we will have um this white div that's going to be the form. Then we'll have this heading and this X to close. Then we'll have the form itself. Okay, so leave heading form. Okay, so let's just call this one form container. Oh my god, sorry. Too much CSS. Okay, so form container. Then inside the form container, we'll have this heading as a div of this one outside the form. So I'll call it form heading like this. And what's going to be inside of it will be the add new product. Let's use an H1 for that. Is it all caps? Okay. Add new products, and then the X for the X. But I'll just go and get this X from the other design. Where is it? Yeah. Instead of going to font awesome. So yeah. Now let me save and see what we are doing. Where is it? Okay, here it is. The add new products and the X mark. Okay. So the next thing we want to have is the form itself. So I'll use normal HTML form. Let's take this off first for now. All right, let me look at this thing again, please. So we have this div, product name, this div. All right, so we're looking at this. I'll give all of them a class of form elements. So I can style them identically. Form elements, the first one has a label for product name. Product name. And we'll call it product name. I have to type with one hand so I can hold my phone close to, because I don't have an earpiece, so that I can hold it close to my mouth for you guys to hear me clearly. I'm typing with one hand. Then we have an input of type texts, and we're not going to be concerned about all of this for now since we're not doing anything right here right now. Just give it a placeholder of enter product name. So save this. Now just duplicate it. Right. So the next one is going to be for price. Sorry, product price. Both of them are supposed to have the same ID set. Come back later. Okay, so yeah, we are using order number, but I think okay, order number. So order number. Now just copy this thing from the other listen to save time. Okay, let's see what we are doing. So here's our form, looking very HTML. All right, so for the next one, the radio buttons, we just gonna copy them. Sorry, yeah, okay. So so what did I do there? We had to create a I had to create a div. I'm sure there are other ways to do this, but the way I did it was I created a div um for the radio element and gave it a product status. Okay, so this excuse me, why do I have this extra div here? What have I done? Okay, it's just not properly arranged. All right, so we have the div that's containing the rest of the radio buttons. That's this zero, this applying zero, this circle here. It's holding it with the text available, and then it's holding another one with the text out of stock. So okay. So the next thing we need to do now is go straight to the CSS and start styling them. So the first thing we are going to do is style the backdrop. So for us to be able to style the backdrop, we need to come to this to the body element and give it um, a position of relative so that we can style this backdrop in relation to the body. Thereby, we'll give it a left of 0 and a right of 0 so that it's going to start from the edge and from the top and cover the rest of the screen. But then we'll reduce the we'll
Hello. Am I the only person that cannot hear?
Well, it's not only you. I think she already left, probably with her phone. Her phone got disconnected. Oh, and there's no way we can actually prompt her now.
What I learned,
Topman, okay. Please call Ibubu.
what I learned, be explaining it. She's doing it.
No, no,
How do you
no.
go back?
She uses her phone to talk. She uses her phone for
Okay,
communication. Her system does not. Her system mic is not working on speaker, so
okay.
yeah, she will join back with her phone. Alright.
Wow. Thank you.
Hello, are you back? We still can't hear you. You're actually muted. Hello. It is well. So let's call it a day
All
now.
right.
We'll continue later.
Yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
having a serious challenge right now. Her phone is misbehaving. I don't know. She's trying to reboot and things like that. So just meet later, at least for an hour or so.
Alright.
All right. So bye bye for now. See
Bye,
ya.
boss.